Look, we know the young and the restless Alan is a dangerous sociopath who's terrorized Phyllis and Sharon and may soon be coming after Tracy since she seems to be catching on to his game. We also know that fans are not happy with Tracy's hard-fought and long-overdue happiness being snatched away from her. Those scenes where she talked with Jack about her suspicions were just downright heartbreaking. But as painful as it's been to watch, this twist is soap opera and acting gold, and Beth Maitland is very much aware of that. The actress spoke with TV Insider and pointed out something we all know. You can't be happy on daytime or you disappear off the canvas. And while she acknowledged that the fans who just want Tracy to find love and happiness after 4 decades of heartache and disappointment, she's perfectly fine with the twist. If Tracy was happy, Maitland pointed out, she would be even more boring than just being everyone's shoulder to lean on. So I feel like there has to be something to tear it up a little bit. Nothing good lasts for long, and here's something to do, and I long for something to do. Trust me, in the next couple of weeks, you'll see I make the most of it. And that is something worth cheering. We've already seen Tracy put the pieces together faster than anyone else. We've seen her face her worst nightmare, and rather than turning around and running from it, she's confronting it. Her life is being turned upside down, and she refuses to pretend everything's oak and ignore all the signs. She's still cautiously hoping for the best, but in turning to Jack, she's already begun preparing for the worst. In the end, when all is said and done, we fully expect Tracy to come out of this a hero. Sadly, though, she'll be a hero with a broken heart, and she'll have a long road of healing ahead of her. But that too is okay, Maitland insisted to TV Insider, because Tracy already has a life she loves, she has people that matter to her, she has purpose, and she has a career that she also loves. In other words, Tracy already has a complete happy life. So Alan or no Alan, she knows who she is and what's truly important in her life. Honestly, that's more than a lot of us can ever say. So yeah, Alan may be a nightmare of a human being who's poised to devastate Tracy, but thanks to him, we're once again getting the chance to see her truly shine. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless recap for Friday, March 28, reveals that Jack Abbott will trick Alan Laurent, aka Martin Laurent, into coming home as a Martin identity trap is set. At Crimson Lights, Jack and Tracy Abbott will give Chance Chancellor updates on their Alan concerns off-screen. Chance will acknowledge that there's no proof that Alan or Martin is behind the clinic chaos, but he'll definitely think there are reasons to be suspicious. After Chance wonders if Tracy can convince Alan to return from France, Jack will have a better idea. In the end, Jack will get Alan on the phone and suggest it means so much to all the Abbotts if they had the wedding in the family home. Alan will totally understand and agree to return to GC once he wraps up a couple things in Paris. Tracy will eventually strategize with Jack about what they should do once Alan gets off the plane. Although Jack won't approve, Tracy will want to convince Alan that there's nothing he could say or do to change her love for him. Jack will feel like Tracy's plan to get to the truth is too dangerous, but Tracy will want to look Alan in the eye and find out for herself if he's Martin or not. At the Newman Ranch, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will announce they're a couple again during a family meeting with Victor Newman, Nikki Newman, Victoria Newman, and Nick Newman. Victor will be tickled pink, so they'll all break out the bubbly and share some toasts following Chelsea and Adam's reunion. At one point, Victor will drop hints about the wedding, but Adam and Chelsea won't be thinking that far ahead yet. Although Nikki and Victoria will seem a bit wary as they chat with Chelsea privately, Chelsea will feel like Adam has really grown as a person. Nearby, Adam will make a prediction about Nick ending up back with Sharon Newman and moving in the cottage with her, but Nick will downplay that idea. At the coffee house later, Nick will speak with Victoria about Adam's reunion news and point out that at least he's less volatile when he's happy. Back with Nikki on Friday's I and R episode, she'll sound the alarm to Victor about how toxic Adam and Chelsea's relationship can be. Once Chelsea makes it home with Adam, she'll reflect on Victor being their biggest supporter. Adam will feel confident that they'll win over any naysayers as he offers Chelsea reassurance. In the park, Phyllis will blow up at Billy Abbott for yanking the rug out from under her regarding Abbott communications. It'll feel like Billy's throwing away their fresh start because Aristotle Dumis dangled this revenge carrot in front of him. Phyllis won't understand what Aristotle is getting out of going up against Victor and putting Chancellor back in Billy's hands, but Billy will refuse to divulge Aristotle's motives. Afterward, Phyllis will look Aristotle Dumis up online and think it's weird that there are no pictures of him. It'll leave Phyllis mulling over who Aristotle truly is. At Billy's place, he'll tell Sally Spectra about his frustrating meeting with Phyllis, who flipped out when he mentioned Aristotle's name. Sally will realize there must have been a reason why, so she'll get Billy to admit Aristotle made him a very lucrative business proposal. When Billy refuses to spill more info regarding his Aristotle deal, Sally will argue that anyone who goes through that much trouble to hide their identity is usually hiding a lot more than that. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally will continue to worry about Billy's involvement with Aristotle, so stay tuned for all the shockers ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, March 28, 2025 are here. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Victor Newman to catch his family off guard. Jack Abbott worries about Tracy Abbott's safety. Also, Sally Spectra calls Billy Abbott's bluff. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. On Friday, March 28, fans can expect Sally to call out Billy. When Aristotle Dumis blew up Billy's phone, Sally questioned him about why. Billy gave a cover story about him just giving his support for Abbott Communications. However, later, Billy called Dumis back and mentioned a deal. Sally might not overhear Billy's conversation, but could get the feeling he's hiding something. Since Billy lets Phyllis Summers on the secret, this could cause Sally to think something else is going on. Sally was terribly betrayed and lied to by Adam Newman. When the two became a couple, Sally wanted no secrets. This is especially true with Billy's history of scheming. While Billy wants Chancellor back, will the price really be worth it? We know there is some sort of deal between Billy and Dumis, but the details aren't clear. Billy did say he had his end of the bargain, but I fear he's going to regret this secret partnership. REDMORE. Find out what happened on the last episode of Y&R. Over with the Newman family, Victor catches his family off guard with some sort of announcement. It seems the whole family will be blindsided, so Mickey Newman might even be shocked. The Young and the Restless spoilers for tomorrow reveal that Jack will fear for Tracy's safety. After hearing Tracy's story, he has to agree that something is very off about all of this. Of course, Tracy is petrified that Alan Laurent might not be the man she thinks. Tracy is worried that Alan could actually be Martin Laurent. Must read The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sally walks away after Billy's lie blows up. Fans know that Tracy is a writer, which means she connects the dots a lot. So Tracy might not be satisfied to just wait and see what happens. Tracy also doesn't want to risk confronting Alan until she has proof. Of course, when it comes to matters of the heart, sometimes logic goes right out the window. So Tracy might hop on a plane to Paris to confront Alan. It's also possible that Martin never left Genoa City at all and has been watching and waiting. Tracy could be in real danger, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Young and Restless is on the verge of psychoanalyzing the fun and drama right out of this soap opera. That said, we've had a couple of mysteries to keep us distracted. Who is Alan? Who is Aristotle Dumis? I've always been down for a good frenemies moment between Sharon and Phyllis, but making it permanent seems unwise when the name of the game is drama. It's become something of a trend with the current writers to therapize the edginess out of all the characters who traditionally keep us entertained with their pot stirring. Adam, Chelsea, and Diane have become dreadful bores, and now Phyllis, of all people, seems set to follow in their footsteps. It's disheartening to say the least, and not at all what we're here for. The writers need to take note of the melodrama happening on Bold and Beautiful and Beyond the Gates. There was a ton of foreshadowing in those conversations between Jack and Tracy that make it pretty clear that, barring a twist where Alan had some sort of psychotic break following the death of his twin, Martin survived and has been impersonating his brother. We predicted that Alan/Martin will target Ashley again as part of this surprise he's planning. And if cornered upon his return to Geno City by Tracy, he may well pull out his phone and reveal that he has her sister locked up somewhere. If not, this could turn out to be yet another fizzle of an ending, where they simply expose that Alan is Martin and then trot him off to jail. Of course, our hearts will break for Tracy, and we'll hope against hope that Sharon and Phyllis get the chance to confront their captor, but I'm not holding my breath. Daniel and Sharon, after all, were robbed of such an opportunity for closure in the Jordan/Ian story. We're clearly ramping up to the reveal of the person behind the alias Aristotle Dumis. There are a couple of options here, and neither of them jive with my first thoughts on the character. When Victor told Michael that he'd competed with Aristotle Dumis to buy up companies over the years, the assumption was that he was a similar age to the mustache. But new information has our theories skewing him younger. With Daniel Goddard teasing an announcement, we had to consider that Dumis might be Kane Ashby. Let's consider some evidence. Lily's involved, Jill's involved, Kane has a history with Chancellor Industries, and he lives in California where Dumis companies are based. It could be him, but he would have had to build an empire pretty quickly after leaving Geno City to have been competing on Victor's level for years. More, why Billy and Sally will split up. A theory I like better is one floated by Mark Harding, a longtime Young and Restless viewer on Twitter, that Aristotle Dumis is Brooke's Prentice and will be played by incoming Days actor Billy Flynn. Not only is this much preferable to what would amount to an unbelievable Kane-related plot, but it would bring the OG Brooks/Prentice family back onto the canvas. I like to think it might also open the door for a Thea return. Anyway, for those who don't know, the Prentice family ran a publishing empire, which Victor once stole. This explains not only why Brooks would have animosity toward the Black Knight, but also the literary names for his companies, Monte Cristo and Dangler, and his alias Dumis. Who do you think is the person behind the alias Aristotle Dumis? Vote. The opinions expressed are my own. Please feel free to weigh in on this week's Young and Restless in the comments. Friday, March 28, 2025. Today on The Young and the Restless, Adam and Chelsea call a family meeting with the Newmans. Jack lures Alan back to Geno City, and Phyllis and Sally question Billy's plans. In the park, Phyllis is upset that she was gone less than a week, almost died, and Billy has moved the deck chairs on the Titanic. Why is he doing this to himself again? He's rolling the dice on some millionaire who has come in and told him all his dreams are going to come true. Billy says Dumas reached out to him with a chance to get Chancellor back. She asks why he's even on his radar. Billy says he sees this as a business opportunity. Phyllis questions, an opportunity or a mark? She points out he stands to lose his credibility. He convinced everybody he was on the up and up and had finally seen the light. Billy says the light just got bigger and brighter. Phyllis doesn't want to be a part of this. She wanted to build something with him, not some kind of kamikaze mission to prove to Victor that he's a real contender. I really believed in you this time, Billy. Billy thinks Phyllis is seeing this wrong. It's a savvy business move and not about revenge. Phyllis doesn't believe him. Billy tells her it doesn't matter. This is going to happen. He wants her on board, but won't beg her. Phyllis asks what Dumis offered him that was so great that now Abbott Communications is now just an afterthought. Did he dangle Chancellor in front of him? Are you that easily manipulated, Billy? Are you that easily manipulated by power? Billy complains that it's hard to be excited about this when she's complaining. This is a sound business decision. Phyllis shakes her head. Billy thinks she's lost a bit of her nerve. Phyllis rants that maybe being on the brink of death taught her life is too short to hang on to grudges. Billy admits power is part of the equation and reacquiring Chancellor would prove something to Victor and Jill, but this deal is much more than that. Phyllis can't see it. Billy argues that Abbott Communications would jump to the front of the line if it was part of Chancellor. It is attainable, Phyllis says, for Aristotle Dumis. She questions why he's talking to Billy or works so hard to take Chancellor back from Victor to give it to him. Why not keep it for himself? Billy says he has his reasons, but he can't tell her. Dumis told her in the strictest of confidence. He asks her to keep this to herself. He hasn't told Jack or Sally. Phyllis can't believe he's holding out on her. Billy will tell her when the timing is right. Phyllis reminds him she just went through an ordeal where she was manipulated and now he's asking her to submit to the whims of some millionaire. Billy can't tell her right now. Phyllis sighs. She was so excited about this. This company kept her sane when she was locked up. It was a road out for her and her son after the hell they've been through. Billy says the road is just bigger and better. She argues it's just danger signs now. Why does she keep trusting him and believing in him? More. Stafford and Son do home goods challenge. At the ranch, Victoria and Nick greet their parents. Victoria asks why Adam wanted them to meet there. No one has a clue. Victoria asks Nick about Sharon. He says she's happy to be back with their family. Victor asks if they have any idea who did it. Nick says Chance is on it, but whoever did this is a very clever person, but even they can make mistakes. Adam and Chelsea come in and he announces that they're back together and happy to be a family again. Victor's chuffed. Victoria assumes Connor already knows. They say he does. Nick and Victoria congratulate them and go to get champagne. Victor declares, "We shall toast the happy couple." Once the bubbly is poured, Victor toasts to their good fortune and love. Adam thanks them all for coming. He knows their relationship has had bumpy moments over the years, but the fact that they can all be there to celebrate means the world to them. It feels nice to belong to a family. He thanks his dad for seeing that they belong together. Chelsea echoes this sentiment. Victor is very happy to see the two of them become a couple again. When is the wedding? Adam and Chelsea gawp. After, Chelsea sits with Victoria and Nikki in the sunroom, and they tell her they're happy for her. Nikki says Adam seems genuinely happy. She knows it meant a lot to Victor for them to share the news. Chelsea wasn't expecting him to pop the champagne. They joke about him mentioning a wedding. Chelsea says there isn't one in the cards. Victoria quips, "Yet." They all laugh. Nikki advises Chelsea to go into this with eyes wide open where Adam's concerned. Victoria agrees. Chelsea appreciates their honesty. She admits she asked herself if she could trust this and struggled with the question. At the end of the day, she had to trust her instincts and her heart. Victoria warns Adam likes to rock every boat he's been in. Chelsea thinks he's capable of change. He's been great at Newman Media and has been a team player. Nikki acknowledges that. Chelsea urges her to tell him that he wants his family's respect. He's a changed man focused on being a good dad, partner, and son. I can feel that. Nikki hopes she's right. More, Melody Thomas Scott's farewell to ex-leading man. In the living room, Victor tries to convince Nick to move onto the ranch with Christian. Adam wonders if he and Sharon will move back in together. Nick denies it was ever a thought. Adam's unconvinced. He thinks it's inevitable they'll find their way back to one another, and then they can all live there as one big happy family. Nick says he and Sharon will always be connected, but it doesn't mean they'll ride off into the sunset together. Victor suggests Adam not push this. Adam reminds him he pushed him and Chelsea to get back together. When he approves of a situation, it comes to pass. Nick tells his brother to stick to being grateful about Chelsea and leave him and his life out of it. The women rejoin them, and Adam makes a toast to Chelsea and to his family. Here's to the Newmans. At Crimson Lights, Jack asks Chance, "So Chance, what do you think?" Chance says that what he and Tracy just told him won't prove that Alan or Martin is responsible for the kidnapping, but he does agree that it's something and the texts are suspicious. Tracy tells the cop that Alan's in Paris preparing a surprise for her and expects her to join him. Jack says that's not happening, but Tracy argues that he'll get suspicious if she doesn't turn up. Chance asks if she thinks there's any chance she could get him to come back there. Tracy worries that would raise a red flag. Chance doesn't think this person fears getting caught and would almost welcome the search. Jack asks why. Chance says arrogance maybe. He actually sent a link to Billy. It wasn't an accident that they found them. Jack thinks it sounds like they were taunting. Chance agrees. Fear isn't part of their mindset. Jack doesn't want Tracy anywhere near Alan or Martin, but Tracy protests that it has to be her. She has to find out if the man she's desperate to marry is responsible for this. Jack has a better idea and asks her to hear him out. Jack suggests he ask Alan to come home. Tracy thinks that would be suspicious. Jack argues that he'll tell him it's a tradition to have the wedding in the Abbott home. Tracy thinks it might work, and so does Chance. Jack decides to call Alan now. He gets on the phone and tells Alan how happy they all are for them and how much it would mean to have the wedding in Genoa City. Saying, "I'll see you soon, Alan." Jack disconnects. He reports that he seemed normal and said he only cares about what makes Tracy happy. They speculate as to whether or not they're wrong about him. Jack tells Chance that he comes off as the nicest guy in the world. Tracy tells Chance there were no signs until the messages on his phone. Alan seemed the perfect man, but if he's Martin, it was all an act. They agree they'll find out when he gets off the plane, if he gets on the plane. Jack says they'll have to find out who he is once and for all. Tracy says, "You can leave that to me." More, my and our star gets gorgeous new look. After Chance is gone, Tracy tells Jack she wants the truth even if it kills her. Jack says that's what concerns him. She knows this man, and the police will not be able to discern the truth as she can. This needs to be done. Jack complains that she's setting herself up as bait for a man who could be a murderous psychopath. He won't allow it. Tracy tells him he can't protect her. She knows he's worried. She is too, but this is her life. She needs to see this through in her way. What if she's wrong about Alan? What if her instincts are off? Jack thinks that's a pretty long shot at this point. Tracy cries that if there's the slightest chance, she has to know before they accuse him. She doesn't want to lose him. Tracy has to look into his eyes and into his heart. Jack points out if it's Martin, she'll be looking into the eyes of a man who drove their sister to madness and tormented Sharon and Phyllis. Are you ready to face that man? Tracy nods, I am. At the ranch, Nikki tells Victor she wishes Adam and Chelsea well, more for Connor's sake than anything else. Adam did seem like he wanted to be a real part of the family, but she's seen how toxic their relationship can be. No amount of toasts can hide their history, no matter how bad Victor wants it to happen. More, Amelia Heinel celebrates I and our anniversary. At Crimson Lights, Nick and Victoria recap the Adam and Chelsea situation. Nick admits he's happy for them if this is what they want. Victoria muses, I do like Chelsea. But Adam, Nick knows it's going to take some time. Victoria thinks he's come around a bit with his stupid brother jokes. Nick says when he's happy he's less volatile. They toast to that. At the old ranch house, Adam thinks that went pretty well. Chelsea thinks they were all working very hard to be pleasant except Victor. Adam's sure they'll come around. She marvels at Victor being their biggest supporter. Adam says life works in mysterious ways and kisses her. More, what will break up Chelsea and Adam? Billy arrives at home, and Sally asks how his day has been. He kisses her and pours a drink. Billy admits he had a meeting with Phyllis and is frustrated. He says Dumas' name came up and she lost it. Sally asks why. All he did was call to congratulate him. Billy says she thinks it will change the business plan. I had to talk her down. Sally asks why Dumas calling him would change the business. He says it won't, that's why he had to talk her down. Sally reminds him there are to be no secrets. There is more to this, so what is it? Billy confesses that Dumas offered him a large and tempting business proposal. Sally asks why that would bother Phyllis. Billy doesn't know. Sally asks, "What is this business proposal, Billy?" Billy tells Sally he can't give her the details until it's solid. Sally thinks this sounds sketchy and asks why all the mystery. Billy feels that he's having the same conversation that he had with Phyllis. Sally doesn't trust Dumas. Billy can take care of himself and hopes she can trust that he knows what he's doing. Sally asks why Dumas hides his identity. Billy shrugs, I don't know. It's just what he does. It's tough to argue his track record. Sally tells him anyone who goes to that much trouble to hide who they are is usually hiding a lot more than that. More, why Billy and Sally are headed to Splitsville. At the club, Phyllis searches Aristotle Dumis online and muses, there is nothing. Why are there no pictures of this guy? She mutters that it's so weird. At Crimson Lights, Jack tells Tracy that this man nearly took their sister from them. He'll be damned if he's going to let him do that to her. She says, then help me. Quit trying to stop me and help me find out who Alan really is. Next on The Young and the Restless, Lauren wants Nikki to betray Victor. Something's cooking in Genoa City, and it's not just another cup of Crimson Lights coffee. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Sally Spectra may be headed for a romantic shakeup, and this one could be her biggest yet. With Billy Abbott's growing list of secrets and the sudden introduction of Aristotle Dumis, Sally's love life might be about to take a wild new turn. Could she fall for someone completely unexpected? Let's dig into the buzzworthy drama that fans can't stop speculating about. Let's be honest. Things haven't been picture perfect for Sally and Billy lately. In The Young and the Restless, their chemistry once felt undeniable, but lately, not so much. And it's not just the usual bumps in the road. Something deeper is brewing. Billy's been sneaking around, and Sally can feel it. Why is he being so cagey about his partnership with Aristotle Dumis? Why all the secrecy? Sally's been burned by lies before. Remember how things crashed and burned with Adam Newman? This new dynamic has familiar warning signs, and Sally may not ignore them this time. It's not just Aristotle causing waves. Phyllis has been circling Billy more than usual. Coincidence? Please, fans know better. Whenever Phyllis starts getting friendly, drama follows. And if Billy starts leaning in that direction, it's only a matter of time before Sally gets pushed out emotionally. But Sally isn't one to cry over spilled tea. If Billy strays, she may be ready to explore a bold new chapter. And who better to enter stage left than the mysterious Mr. Dumas? Now here's where it gets juicy. No one really knows what Aristotle Dumis looks like. His age, a total mystery. What if Y&R is pulling a classic soap twist? What if the man Sally ends up drawn to isn't the original Aristotle, but his son? There's major buzz behind Billy Flynn's new character, and Y&R is keeping it hush-hush. Why the big secret? Maybe because it's Aristotle Jr., ready to make his mark and steal a few hearts. including Sally's. Picture this. Sally walks into society, needing a breather from Billy's drama. She meets a stranger. Charming, witty, a little mysterious. The conversation flows. The tension builds. She leaves intrigued, with no idea that she just met Aristotle Dumis, or his equally swoon-worthy son. Cue the twist. The guy she bonded with. He's tied to Billy's secret business dealings. And just like that, Sally finds herself in the middle of a much more tangled web. Gone are the days when Sally would turn a blind eye to red flags. She's wiser now. If she smells something shady between Billy and Aristotle, she'll do what she does best, dig. And when Sally digs, secrets get unearthed fast. As she unravels Billy's alliance with Aristotle, she might find herself pulled toward the very man he's hiding. Wouldn't that be soapy perfection? If Billy keeps drifting closer to Phyllis and pushing Sally away, what's stopping Sally from starting fresh? And let's be real, viewers are craving a new romantic twist for her. Whether it's Aristotle or his son, the potential for a sizzling new couple is high. Could this be Sally's shot at a deeper, healthier relationship? One with fewer lies and more passion? Billy may think he's got everything under control, but the young and the restless doesn't work that way. If he underestimates Sally or tries to juggle too many secrets, he could lose her and fast. And when Sally does move on, it's going to be a headline-worthy twist no one saw coming. All signs point to chaos, heartbreak, and maybe even a surprise romance brewing in Genoa City. With Sally catching onto Billy's secrets and the new man stepping into the picture, the young and the restless is about to heat up. Stick with Soap Opera Daily for all the whispers, twists, and upcoming shockers. You won't want to miss what's next. The power struggles in Genoa City are about to take a shocking turn as a mysterious figure emerges from the shadows, Billy Flynn. His sudden presence sends ripples through the elite circles, but the biggest bombshell is yet to come. It's rumored that Billy Flynn is none other than Martin's long-lost son, a revelation that could reshape the entire balance of power. For years, Martin has operated behind the scenes, carefully constructing alliances and maintaining control over his rivals. But now, with the possibility of a true heir, he sees an opportunity to solidify his influence and build a lasting legacy. As whispers spread, speculation intensifies. Did Martin always know about Billy, keeping his existence a secret as a hidden weapon? If so, what does this mean for those who have opposed him? Meanwhile, Billy's own motivations remain unclear. Is he truly aligned with his father, or does he have his own agenda in mind? The father and son's clandestine meeting, held in an abandoned location away from prying eyes, is filled with tension. Martin envisions a new dynasty, one where he and Billy will rise together to dismantle the old guard, including the Abbott family and Tracy. But Billy Flynn is not alone. He has teamed up with others, forming a covert alliance that seeks to infiltrate Abbott, the very heart of Genoa's power. Their mission is clear: uncover deep secrets, exploit vulnerabilities, and ultimately, tear down the Abbott empire from within. The lines between loyalty and betrayal blur as alliances shift, and the future of Genoa hangs in the balance. Will Martin and Billy succeed in their quest for domination, or will their enemies uncover their plans before it's too late? The storm is coming, and no one in Genoa City is safe. Love is in the air as the young and the restless legend Tracy Bregman walks down the aisle at 66, proving that romance has no age limit. The beloved soap star, best known for her iconic role as Lauren Fenmore, has finally said, "I do," in a breathtaking ceremony that has fans swooning. The intimate yet lavish wedding was nothing short of a Hollywood fairy tale, with close friends, family, and a few familiar Y and R faces in attendance. Fans were delighted as Tracy glowed with happiness, dressed in a stunning bridal gown that perfectly captured her timeless elegance. The wedding was filled with heartfelt moments, including a tear-jerking vow exchange that left guests emotional. Insiders reveal that the couple's love story is one for the books, proving that true love always finds a way, no matter the timing. As expected, several Lie and R favorites made their way to celebrate with Tracy on her big day. While she has remained tight-lipped about the guest list, rumors suggest that some of her longtime co-stars joined in the joyous occasion. Could Christian Leblanc have been her best man for the day? Fans are dying to know. Tracy has been through it all, from heartbreak to triumph, but she has never given up on love. Her journey proves that happiness comes when you least expect it, and now, at 66, she's embarking on a beautiful new chapter. "I've never been happier," Tracy reportedly shared with friends. "This is just the beginning of our forever." With love in full bloom, fans are wondering, will Tracy and her new husband enjoy a romantic honeymoon in an exotic destination? Or will she return to the screen with even more fire in her performances? One thing is certain, this Lie and R queen is living her best life, and we couldn't be happier for her. Genoa City is about to be rocked by a scandalous revelation that no one saw coming. Over the next 2 weeks on The Young and the Restless, Sharon Newman's buried memories resurface, unraveling a dangerous mystery that could destroy Alan's life forever. And with Chance Chancellor hot on the trail, justice may finally be served, but not without shocking consequences. For weeks, something about Alan hasn't sat right with Sharon. His presence triggers strange flashbacks, visions of a past she can't quite place. But as she starts piecing together the fragments, a terrifying realization hits her. Alan isn't who he claims to be. Could he be hiding a dark and sinister past? When Sharon confides in Chance, he immediately senses that she may have just unlocked the missing link in his investigation. But the deeper they dig, the more dangerous the truth becomes. Determined to uncover the truth, Chance follows the clues straight to Alan's past. And what he finds is more shocking than anyone imagined. Alan has been hiding a criminal secret that could send him away for good. But Alan isn't going down without a fight. As Chance inches closer to exposing him, Alan becomes desperate and unpredictable. Could Sharon now be in danger for uncovering the truth? Alan knows Sharon holds the key to his downfall, and that makes her his #1 target. With his secrets about to explode, will he try to silence her before she can reveal everything? Meanwhile, Nick Newman starts to realize something is very wrong, and his protective instincts kick in. Could he step in just in time to save Sharon from a dangerous confrontation, or will this be a battle only Chance can win? As the shocking truth about Alan finally comes to light, Genoa City will never be the same. Will justice be served? Or will Alan slip away before Chance can take him down? And what will this mean for Sharon? Will she finally find closure, or is her nightmare far from over? One thing is certain. The next 2 weeks on The Young and the Restless will be filled with explosive twists, shocking betrayals, and edge-of-your-seat drama. Don't miss a second of the action. The drama in The Young and the Restless escalates as Alan Loron, also known as Martin Loron, resurfaces in Genoa City after a long and mysterious absence. His return immediately raises concerns for Jack Abbott and his sister, Tracy, who suspect that Martin is tied to recent unsettling events at the clinic. Though Chance Chancellor, the investigating officer, finds no solid proof linking Martin to the disturbances, Jack is convinced that something deeper is at play. Tracy becomes the first to notice strange behavior from Alan, leading her to believe he may be hiding something. Jack, ever the strategist, decides to set an elaborate trap to lure Martin back and expose his true motives. Knowing Martin's connection to the Abbott family, Jack devises a plan that revolves around Tracy, creating a fabricated crisis that Martin won't be able to resist intervening in. As expected, Martin returns, stepping right into Jack's setup. However, the confrontation doesn't go as smoothly as planned. While Jack intends to manipulate Martin into revealing his secrets, Tracy has her own approach. She wants direct answers. Their differences in handling the situation create tension between the siblings. Tracy insists on facing Martin head-on despite Jack's warnings about the dangers. Just when things seem under control, Jack makes a bold move. He proposes a fake wedding invitation to Martin, baiting him with the idea of reintegration into the Abbott family. Martin, intrigued by the offer, agrees to return. But as soon as he arrives, the Abbott siblings find themselves caught in a dangerous game of deception, with more at stake than they initially realized. Will they uncover Martin's true intentions before it's too late?